bring back that perspective, those extra values, and it makes you wonder, when these other cultures are so different, what's actually real about the way that I see things? Maybe it's not real. Maybe this isn't the best way to run my family. Maybe this isn't the path that I should be taking. Maybe I should be gaining some more appreciation for some of these things when I've just totally forgotten about it. So I think that leads me into what I want to talk about next, which is related to fear, what we've been talking about all day. It's this stuff that's not really real. George talked about that we have these innate fears, the fear of falling, the fear of loud noises. I think that makes total sense to be born with that, but the rest of it is, like we're finding out today, totally manufactured. And so I do have a story about my buddy. I'm going to call him Dave. Dave came with me to Argentina, and I just think fears are so funny, and I feel silly today, when you're repeating all this stuff over and over, oh, I have a fear of this and that. It felt silly. It broke things down, but it really made it make sense that what we were experiencing, while it's real to us, very, very real to us, our friends may not think the same of it. So my buddy Dave, though, we go down to Argentina, and Dave, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's a phobia or if it's a fear or whatever, but he refuses to eat vegetables. Period. Dave's 28 years old, refuses to eat vegetables. And luckily in Argentina, they eat a lot of meat. The average Argentinian, I think it's half a pound of steak a day. Man, I hit that quota fast. But yeah, Dave was just, every time we ran into a situation with vegetables, he's picking them out. And I'm sure the rest of you can relate. There's a lot of great vegetables out there that you probably enjoy. And I know I used to be a picky eater, and the world has opened up for me. I don't eat everything now. But I just remember one experience when we were down there watching Dave. We're eating empanadas. Does everybody know what empanadas are? Oh, delicious pockets of goodness. We ate so many when we were down there. I don't know if it's because most of them are fried. And anyway, Dave enjoys the ham and cheese. There's no vegetables in there. He also enjoyed the ones that had beef in them. But some of the ones that had beef in them also had olives in them. And I just remember when Dave was eating one of these empanadas, he found out halfway through it, discovered there were olives, and he stopped eating his empanada, refused to touch it again, wouldn't even go through to pick things out. So I finished it for him, but it just made me think, that is the smallest, most symbolic thing that I see in a lot of us, is that I know Dave wanted to finish that thing. I know he wanted the rest of the meat in there. I know he wanted to actually experience the rest of that, and I'm sure he's got certain feelings around not eating vegetables and how other people might think of him for that or whatever. But I know that Dave wanted something more than what he had stopped himself from doing. And so I think that's what a lot of fears do. These fears stop us from the things that we really want to achieve. So that really got me thinking. If Dave could have stopped himself, been able to enjoy it, he would have experienced so much more. And so that's like I talked about earlier, that's your chance to expand. When you feel that inside of you, that tension, that's your opportunity to grow. And you know exactly how great it's going to be when you jump in and do it. So even if it's this big, it doesn't matter, because we all know that life is pretty cumulative. So even if you're taking small steps, they're pretty big. By the end of the day, I think by the end of today, actually, we're all going to have found it's been one large step for all of us, even though each of these exercises has been pretty small in itself, but total in together, big things happening. So this also makes me think about, and we've already touched on it here today, is pain versus pleasure. And I think fears tend to rewire us in a pretty interesting way. And that's where they're kind of funny too. But let's say just take a really easy one for all of us to relate to, a fear of failure or a fear of rejection. I know it's some of our fears here today that we want to conquer and break through. Let's just take that example, but also you can apply it to anybody whose fears are here. Pain versus pleasure. Everybody wants to avoid the pain and they want to go towards the pleasure. That's what motivates us typically. It's also love versus fear. You can put it however you want, but I think pain versus pleasure is a really good visual to have in your head. So you have a fear of rejection. So thinking about doing this, maybe it's, for me it was launching a new business, and I was afraid, what could happen. I was avoiding that that pain. I was scared to take action. I was scared to do it. Versus the pleasure at that point in time was, if I hang out here, things are pretty comfortable. Things are good how they are. And that's not really serving us, right? As expansive beings and as people that constantly need and seek growth, we need to be in a position where we can grow. So if we have if we're set up in a way that keeping ourselves comfortable is our pleasure, it's going to keep creating problems for us. We're going to keep stagnating. We're not going to be able to move forward. So I think something that would be more serving is taking that same fear and being like, okay, the actual pain of this is if I don't do this, like jumping over that wall, breaking through that wall, George. If we don't do this is all the pain we're going to have. We will continue to have this fear. We will continue to be stopped from taking life into our own hands. And the pleasure is all that stuff on the other side of the wall, those things that we want from life, that we really want. So that is why it's so important to have that compelling need. I think that's why I started Inspiraction. I had that compelling need to really go for it. I had so many transformative experiences last year. And I think like George started touching on, and we're going to talk about the rest of today, is we can sit here and reflect and think about these things that they're going to help us change. We can minimize the fear as much as we want, but what's really going to help us is when we take action. Plain and simple. You're just not going to know what things are like until you move to the other side. So, we have an hour lunch break to work with today. And I know that from my experience, action's been good stuff. And I'm pleased to see that everybody here has not been sitting back and not participating in the exercises. Because if you weren't participating in the exercises, what would you really gain from them? I used to think about vision boards, and I was like, yeah, I got a vision board in the back of my head. I know what that's all about. I can manifest this stuff. I was wondering why I wasn't getting any results. I didn't make a freaking vision board. I did that, and boom, things started to click. So today we are going to take Inspiraction. So I'm putting the challenge on you guys today, and you guys should just be thankful for Sabrina meeting with me for lunch yesterday, because I would either have you guys doing a flash mob somewhere, dancing it out. The other option was I was going to have us all go spend an hour in silence. I spent a day in silence. And that blew my mind, the things that you hear inside your head. But I thought, hour in silence, it could push us out of our comfort zones. It'd be pretty awkward, but that's not really fun. We don't get that sense that Josh might have had on the other side of breaking through his fears. So, the idea that Sabrina helped me come up with, relates back to something that I did back in undergrad. But I think it's possible, George. I think we should go to lunch. We're pretty close to the Cherry Creek Mall. I think we should follow in Josh's footsteps, get up in front of a public audience of people that we don't know, beyond just the group of people that we have in this room. And, we can either tell people about our fears or tell people, I think this is what we should do, tell people about what we dream to accomplish and what our biggest dreams are. Make it 10 seconds, that's all that you can muster, but like I said, even if it's this small, it's way out of your comfort zone, that's going to do big things for you. I plan on taking maybe 20, 30 seconds because I got a lot to say when I'm going to get up there. I have never done anything like that, and I don't know if any of you have either, but I welcome you to join me and to take it one step further. I'm going to film you. I'm going to put it on the internet. Unless, I respect your privacy. If you really do not want it on there, I'm not going to put it on there. Okay, to respect you on that, but I can't tell you how empowering it is to get up there and just do it and show people what you're all about. Josh did it, and you should have seen how many comments popped up on my blog and on the video. People were so stoked for Josh and stoked to do their Inspiraction challenge, whether it was they're going to actually film it or go out and do something new. And just what I saw was so amazing. So I want to bring that gift to you guys, give you the opportunity to come with us over lunch. I'm going to Cherry Creek. I'm going to do this, so I think you should come with me. That's all I got. So.
Who's in? And whatever's going on up here right now is what stops you out there. Whatever is happening up here right now in your mind from preventing you from going out and doing this exercise and getting out of your comfort zone is what stops you out there. And that's what this is about. It's breaking through that stuff that goes on that doesn't allow us to get outside that comfort zone and grow. Alright? So I invite all of you to do it. You don't have to do anything. You're a complete choice. But if you came here to break through fear, there's a beautiful opportunity for you.
Yeah, if it's tugging at you really hard right now, this is your opportunity. Definitely. And you're not going to get hurt. If anything, there's a bunch of loving people here that are going to embrace everything that you've done. So it doesn't matter what other people think. It's all for you.